Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of SportsLine. I'm Brendan Rigney and alongside of me is Jacob Smolinski.
We have a great show full of your LaSalle winter sports, news, previews, and highlights.
So let's get started with some game recaps. Jake?
The women's track and field team had a very successful weekend at Yale, showing what it means to represent the blue and gold. The women's DMR team of fifth-year student Megan McGlinchey, seniors Tori Pisco and Chelsea Harris, and junior Kaylee Solano broke the school record with a time of 11 minutes and 33 seconds. This time replaces the DMR of 11 minutes and 44 seconds clocked in 2002. In the 800-meter run, Pisco and Solano both competed. Pisco placed first with a time of 2 minutes and 12 seconds, with Solano close behind with a time of 2 minutes and 14 seconds, and placing second. McGlinchey also competed in the 3,000-meter run, dominating and placing first with senior Michelle Capozzi, finishing a close second place. Grad student Rochelle Harrison ran the 1,000-meter run and clocked a time of 2 minutes and 56 seconds. Lastly, Shanice Johnson ran the 60-meter dash and placed fifth with a time of 8.16 seconds.
On the flip side of things, the other half of the women's team competed at Haverford on Saturday and had some success stories of their own. Senior Alex Guntel, junior Courtney Kramer, and junior Inez Somoes, raced competitively and battled hard, with Guntel competing in the mile with a time of 6 minutes and 5 seconds. Inez also ran the mile in 5 minutes and 54 seconds. And lastly, Courtney Kramer ran the 5K in 20 minutes and 5 seconds.
The LaSalle men's track team competed at Yale Invitational on Friday, February 7th, and at the David Hemery Valentine Invitational on Saturday, the 8th. The Explorers were impressive in numerous events, finishing strong in the 5,000 meters and DMR. 4 Explorers finished within the top 30 in the 5,000-meter run at BU on Saturday afternoon. Senior Alfredo Santana placed 10th in the event, finishing in 14 minutes and 21 seconds, recording the best time out of any Atlantic 10 runner so far this season. In the competition at Yale, the squad finished in the first place in the DMR. Brendan Robinson, Chris Hunter, Chris Sanders, and Santana combined for a time of 9 minutes and 59 seconds, making the best A10 time of this winter. Junior Nick Ross stole the show in the mile, capturing first place in 4 minutes and 5 seconds. Kevin Day and John Pujols finished in first and second respectively in the 1,000-meter as well. Sophomore Joshua Bird clocked the top time for the Explorers in the 200-meter dash, coming in at 23 seconds.
Well, the women's basketball team came out on top against the Rhode Island Rams as they wore their pink for the Play for K breast cancer initiative. The Lady Explorers pulled away in the second half, winning the game 50-42. This is not the first time these two teams are meeting, though, as they met earlier in the year, with LaSalle coming out on top in a 50-44 victory. Freshman Micaiah Owens scored a game-high 18 points, while senior Alicia Cropper contributed by getting her second career double-double. Rebounds had a big impact on the game, considering both ends of the court struggled to knock down shots. Senior Lisa Birdges had a great night defensively, recording a career-high 4 blocks while grabbing 8 boards for the game.
The women took on St. Joe's on the road on Wednesday, February 12th. Despite quite impressive shooting performances from Alicia Cropper with 20 points, Micaiah Owens with 15, and Lisa Burgess with 11, the Explorers fell to the Hawks 76-63. After a tight start to the game, the Hawks went 11 for 13 from the free throw line, which helped them reach a 42-32 halftime lead. In the second half, the Explorers brought it to 51-47, but that would be as close as they would get. LaSalle was unable to break the 10-point margin for the rest of the game. The Hawks had a great night at the foul line, going 16 for 19, whereas LaSalle went 6 for 13. The Hawks also out-rebounded the Explorers, contributing in their victory.
On Saturday, February 8th, LaSalle men's basketball took on St. Louis in quite the nail-biter. Take a look.
Saturday, February 8th, the men's basketball team took on nationally ranked St. Louis. This game was a nail-biter that made the crowd go wild and put the skills of the Explorers to the test. The game started out slow, with St. Louis scoring first and gaining a good lead on the Explorers. However, this struggle did not last for long. The men started picking it up within 10 minutes of the game. Standout players such as Steve Zach, who was on his rebounding game with 13 the whole game, gave many opportunities to the Explorers to keep attempting baskets and making many of his own with a total of 15 points. He was not the only player to stand out in this intense game. Within the last seconds of the first half, Tyreek Dern hit a three-pointer that set the student section wild, as he tied the score 33-33. After the half, it was a back-and-forth game, and the Explorers pushed to keep the game tied and to get ahead. They never once let up. Jarrell Wright was a force on the court within both halves, leading the team in points scored with 21 points and 8 rebounds of his own. His 2 resounding dunks left the Billikens nervous, and as a result, the Explorers were able to break down the Billikens' elite and renowned defense, which led them to keep close tie throughout the whole game. They were able to get the ball inside to big players for the basket. Dern was able to score 14 points, along with 4 assists and 4 rebounds. It's safe to say the Explorers definitely improved their rebounding this game. In the last seconds of the game, it was tied 63-63, and the possession fell into the hands of the Billikens. Guard Jordy Arjett, a very strong player throughout the whole game, slowly dribbled the ball, draining seconds on the clock, and within 3.7 seconds left, he went in for the layup, and Steve Zack was not able to keep the ball out of the basket, giving the win to St. Louis. This game left fans with a bittersweet feeling of having put up such a good fight against a great team, but losing by only 2 points at the end. Coach G said he is always amazed how a game comes down to one play, and it did. One play finished the game, leaving the final score 63-65 St. Louis. For SportsLine, I'm Addison Elliott.
The LaSalle men's and women's swimming and diving teams will be heading to Geneva, Ohio next week for the Atlantic 10 Swimming Championships. The team has been training since August for this final meet that will take place at the Spire Institute February 19th through the 22nd. For the men's team, freshman Matthias Glenesk, who has been named A10 Rookie of the Week for 2 consecutive weeks, is expected to have an exciting debut at the meet. Glenesk is currently the fastest swimmer in the conference in the 1,650-yard freestyle. The 22-man team has had many strong performances this season and is vying for a top 3 finish at the championship.
On the women's side, sophomore Kelsey Jenkinson, who holds the school record for the 100-yard breaststroke, is ranked first in both the 100-yard and 200-yard breaststroke events in the Atlantic 10. Similar to the men's squad, the women are expecting to have many swimmers qualify for the finals and score for the Explorers. Though the women only have 17 members this year, they are hoping to finish strong at the championship.
Well, Valentine's Day weekend is the opening weekend for LaSalle Spring Sports. With large amounts of snow on the ground, though, plans may have to change. Our very own Bethany Lowe was able to find out how the snow so far this year has impacted the spring sports and their practices. Take a look.
I'm Bethany Lowe reporting for SportsLine here at McCarthy Stadium. Over here you can see the stands are covered in snow. When the fans come out for the opening weekend games, hopefully we'll get those cleared off so they can have a place to sit. And as you can see, the field is also covered in snow. Over here is where the Explorer logo should be, and you should be able to see it, but it's covered in snow. So the lacrosse team should be practicing here right now, but they've had to take it inside for their practices.
Practicing in the gym is not like practicing on the field at all. Practicing in the gym, there's not as much space, and we don't have like our lines like our 8 meter or 12 meters, so it's hard to judge where you would be set up on the field as in where you'd be set up in the gym.
The whole thing about lacrosse is we need a lot of space in the 8 meter to shoot and to think about our shots. So now that we're inside the gym, there's a lot of cramping and a lot of bunching up.
It's a lot different running-wise because you're not used to it. Once you're inside for so long and have to go outside, it's completely different.
Without access to the field and limited on space in the gym, the Explorers have had to be creative, finding other locations and doing the drills that they're able to do in order to stay in shape.
We've been doing like a lot of like stadiums and stairs inside pretty much like every day.
We do a lot of shooting drills, and we've been walking through our plays to make sure like once we do get on the field, we can actually run everything smoothly.
We do a lot of close drills like 3v3 because we don't have like a lot of rooms because it's like a tight squeeze, so that's like a big difference we have to deal with.
I think it's way different than last year. We were hit with no snowstorms last year, so we could go outside every day. This year we're hit with a storm every like 3 days, so we can't, we have to go in the gym almost every day. We've had probably 3 outdoor practices.
With the constant snow, indoor practices, and potential game cancellations, the beginning of this season is one that will be remembered.
Related to the weather here in Philadelphia, the softball team was forced to cancel its trip to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. They're supposed to compete in the Kickin' Chicken Classic at Coastal Carolina University, along with the hosting team, Purdue Owls, Syracuse Orange, and Towson Tigers. This is a little discouraging for the Explorers, who are looking to use this preseason event to bounce back from a season of struggles in 2013. While they went 16-31, the team retained some of its stars and aims for an A10 championship, despite this early hiccup.
Senior slugger Megan Hodgson will return as a utility player for LaSalle. In the 2013 campaign, Hodgson led the team with 31 RBIs while also knocking 10 homers out of the ballpark, breaking a 31-year-old record here at LaSalle. Also returning is super sophomore Kendra Heyer, the first team preseason all-conference selection outfielder, led the Explorer attack, batting the .342 with 40 hits and 8 doubles. Look for both of these Explorers to deliver strong performances all season long, after losing only 2 seniors and welcoming in a host of freshmen.
Now we are going to take a quick break, but when we get back, Rohan Brown is back in the interview seat, speaking with Alicia Bitsimis from the women's softball team. We'll be right back.
A diagnosis of breast cancer changes your life forever.
She told me I needed a mastectomy.
I was scared.
Absolutely in shock.
But you need to know that you're not alone. There are teams of medical professionals, support groups, and therapists, and those who can help you plan for life after cancer. Before you undergo surgery for breast cancer, get the facts. Make sure you know your breast reconstruction options. For more information, visit broaddayusa.org.
Welcome to another interview segment here on SportsLine. I'm here with Elizabeth Simmons. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So you're on the softball team.
Yes, I am.
Season starts soon?
It actually starts on Valentine's Day, so we're going to leave tomorrow, hopefully, because there's this big snowstorm coming, so hopefully we'll get there, because it's in Myrtle Beach.
Myrtle Beach, who do you play?
Our first game is against Purdue, and then we play Towson and Syracuse. I think we played Towson twice.
What are your expectations for this season?
My expectations would be to make it to the conference tournament, since so far since I've been here we haven't, so that would be pretty cool if we could do that this year.
Do you know of any teams that might be in the way of you attaining your goal?
Well, the top three in our conference probably would be Fordham, St. Joe's, and maybe St. Louis is up there. Yeah. GW, that's 4, but.
Do you have any expectations for yourself?
My expectations for myself would probably be just to do everything that I can to help the team win and to be a good teammate and someone that my other teammates can look up to and come to if they need help.
Now, you're a junior, correct?
Yes.
Do you have to take more of a leadership role now that you are upperclassmen on the team?
I wouldn't say like I have to step up more, because we kind of all, as a team, step up. Like, no matter if you're a freshman or a senior, like, everybody has a voice. So, I mean, I try to be a leader, and so the freshmen have people to look up to. Like, they can look up to the upperclassmen, but I wouldn't say that, like, it's like, underclassmen, you need to, like, look up to us and do what we're doing. Like, you can be a leader, too.
Now, do you have any hobbies, you do, like rituals you do before games? Anything to get you pumped up or focused?
Well, we just kind of have our like playlist that we'll play for home games, which gets me pumped up. I like to listen to music a lot. Other than that, we used to do like this little dance thing, but
really?
We don't really do that anymore.
Why not?
Our new coach is more like strict about that kind of stuff. He doesn't want us to look silly. We need to look like professional.
Right.
So we do our warm-ups, and then we get in game mode, we focus and stuff like that.
Is there any way we could get a sample of this dance? Could you do it in your seat?
No.
You couldn't? Not even hand motions?
Well, we did like a circle thing, and you would jump, and like, you know, when the hands in, you all jump like this.
I'm just messing
That's
with
how
you.
it goes.
All right. So let's talk about your high school career. Is softball the only sport you played?
No. I got like 15 varsity letters when I was in high school. I did gymnastics, I think for 2 years, 7th and 8th grade. Yeah. And then I was on softball for 5 years, volleyball, varsity volleyball for 4 years. I did winter track for 2 years, and I was basketball manager, and I got a letter for that, but I wouldn't really count it.
Okay. So you got scholarships for all of those sports?
I got scholarship for softball, and I got a scholarship for volleyball, but I obviously didn't do that. But I stopped gymnastics when I was right after my 9th grade year, because I picked up travel volleyball, and I kind of wanted to stick with the two. So I just did track as like something to do in the winter, since I didn't play basketball or anything.
So obviously softball is more of a passion for you than volleyball.
I really liked both of them, but softball was just what I've always known. I played since I was about 7 years old, so I started volleyball when I was in middle school. It was just, softball was something that I've always done, and I always loved it, so I stuck with that.
Okay. Could you tell us your most embarrassing moment while playing softball? Do you have any secrets you want to let us know?
My most embarrassing moment?
Yeah. Take your time. Just take your time.
I mean, one time I was in the middle of a pitch and I got stung by a hornet. That That was a good time.
So what happened? You scream, run?
No, I don't really remember. I just remember I let go of the pitch and then I went like this. And my coach came out and was like, what the heck just happened? I was like, I think I got stung by a bee. And then I had like a huge like welt on my stomach.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
But I just kept playing, so.
I'm sorry. So let's get more personal.
Okay.
Right? Out of all your family members, who would you say is your biggest fan?
My biggest fan would probably be, I don't want to pick between my parents. It's in different ways. My mom she's like always cheering me on. I always hear her screaming for me. And both my parents come to like a lot of games, which is really like supportive because I live in New York, so it's about a 3-hour drive, so it's pretty nice of them to show up. And my dad is more like the one who helps me with my game. He'll like call me after and be like, oh, you did a great job, like just keep your head in there, like you know how to do this. And so they support me in different ways.
All right, that's pretty cool. Your favorite Disney movie? Choose wisely.
My favorite Disney movie. I think I might have to go with Tarzan.
Oh, yes. Give me some. All right, second person to agree with me. Tarzan's the greatest Disney movie, correct?
It is great.
It's, like, enthusiasm, makes you cry. It just
yeah,
provokes
and the
all
great music when they're
great
banging
music.
on all those things.
That's what I'm trying to say. So, what's your favorite candy?
Ooh, I love candy. Chocolate would be Snickers. Hard candy, Jolly Rancher.
All right, pretty good choices. Well, that's all the time we have today. I was Rohan Brown. This is Elizabeth Simmons. Thank you for coming on the show. We'll be back after this commercial break.
Training is about more than muscle. It's about inner strength. So I push myself. That's why I serve in the United States Coast Guard. I train with the best, a team that shares my drive and commitment. We collect intelligence, guard our shores against drug smugglers, and keep our waterways safe, because our nation expects more.
If you expect more, maybe you were born ready. Find out at GoCoastGuard.com.
Now let's continue on to see what's coming up for Explorer athletes in the spring season. The baseball team returns to the diamond after finishing 24-29 last season and 15-9 in the A-10, setting a new school record. The Explorers start their season this weekend in Berks Creek, North Carolina at Campbell University. The Explorers return both Sean O'Neill and Shane Holman to the mound, along with Alex Faust joining the weekend rotation. The Explorers return with a strong bullpen despite the loss of 4-year closer Pat Christensen. Transfer junior from Holyoke Community College, Freddie Andujar was a first-team NCAA Division III All-American after leading the nation in strikeout rate with 16.17 per game. A key player to keep an eye on this season is redshirt junior catcher Ryan Welling. In addition to adding 20 RBIs last season, Welling behind the plate held a fielding percentage of .975. The Explorers' first home game is February 25th versus the Lafayette Leopards, but the season does not truly heat up until April when they start A-10 play.
The men's tennis spring season kicks off on February 15th against the New Jersey Institute of Technology. The team was able to finish out their fall season with 6 wins and 1 loss. As they pick up where they left off, they hope to stay undefeated at home. Junior Tom McLeod and freshman Brian Balico are the most consistent Explorers in singles matches. If they can keep up their successes in single matches, LaSalle will have a good chance of defeating their city rivals St. Joe's and Villanova. For LaSalle to get a high seed in the Atlantic 10 tournament, they're going to have to finish out the season they played in the fall.
The women's tennis team picks up in the spring on a 3-game losing streak at the end of the fall. They will face off against city rival Drexel University to try to get back to their winning ways. Their record at the end of the fall was 2 wins and 3 losses. 2 notable games coming in the spring are when the Explorers take on city rivals St. Joe's and Temple. LaSalle senior Chloe Trevay will have the challenge of continuing her singles match success to finish out her senior season. Trevay has the best singles match record on the team with 4 wins and 1 loss.
Women's lacrosse is set to open the spring season this Saturday, February 15th. The Explorers were prepared for a home opener at McCarthy Stadium against Long Island University Brooklyn, but the schedule was changed due to icy conditions on the field. LaSalle will instead travel over the bridge into Jersey to compete in a preseason tournament hosted by Princeton University. The Explorers will start the day with an 11 a.m. match against Mount St. Mary's, then Princeton Tigers, and will wrap up the tournament against Lehigh University. Defender Caitlin Colbridge and two midfielders, Katie Marasco and Megan O'Farrell, will be LaSalle's 2014 senior captains. Returning for the Explorers is their leader in scoring and total points, junior midfielder Caitlin Brostrand, who was named to A10 All-Conference First Team for her 45 goals and 47 points total in the 2013 season. Brostrand managed to score at least once in all 16 games last season. Junior midfielder Kelly Furman also returns after leading the team in assists. Before entering the 7-game span of A10 matchups this season, the Explorers will have tough matchups against California University, Temple, Central Connecticut State, and Liberty University. LaSalle is ranked 6th in the preseason A10 rankings. Now, we're going to take another quick break, but when we get back, Gavin Lichtenstein will tell you what game to watch during the upcoming week in the marquee matchup. So don't you touch that clicker.
Hi, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Nicole Malachowski, a U.S. Air Force Fighter Squadron Commander and the first woman pilot with the United States Air Force Aerial Demonstration Team. My fellow airmen and I know that each of us plays a huge part in our victories, whether in the air or on the ground. We couldn't accomplish our mission without using everyone's skills to reach our goals. Embracing our differences and working together is also what has made America strong. Thank you for your support, and remember, our strength lies in our diversity. This message brought to you by the United States Air Force.
Well, welcome to another edition of Marquee Matchup. I'm Gavin Lichtenstein, and today we're going to take an in-depth look at the Explorers men's basketball next opponent, the crosstown rivals, the St. Joseph Hawks. After the 65-63 loss to the St. Louis Billikens at Tom Goal Arena earlier this month, the Explorers returned to the floor 12-11 overall and 4-5 in A10 play. On the other side of the ball, the St. Joseph Hawks enter Tom Goal Arena 16-17 and 6-3 in A10 play. The Explorers have yet to find the love in the air this February, with their last win February 1st versus Duquesne. A key to capturing a win on Saturday is transition team basketball. The Explorers have to smooth out the transition from offense to defense and complement the transition with ball movement to find Sam Mills on the outside, leading the team with a three-point percentage of .418. Now, on the other side of the ball, the Explorers have a powerful weapon when they used effectively in 6'11" center Steve Zach. With Zach's height and wingspan grabbing 158 defensive rebounds this season, with 7 games remaining in the regular season, Zach can easily hit the 200 benchmark with his size. Heading into Saturday's A10 showdown, Tyreek Duran leads the team in scoring, averaging 14 points per game along with 4 assists, not far behind his fellow teammate Ty Garland, averaging 14 points per game. Through the majority of the season, both Duran and Garland have scored a majority of their points in the paint, playing hard, aggressive basketball. The friendly St. Joseph Hawks enter Saturday in 5th place of the A10, with the championship less than 1 month away at the Barclays Center. 2 players to keep an eye on Hawk Hill is Langston Galloway, who leads the team averaging just over 16 points per game, followed by fellow teammate Ronald Robert, 14 points per game. The Hawks have a field goal percentage just under 50%, which may be difficult for the Explorers in blue and gold. The Hawks are coming off a 69-62 win against the VCU Rams, a game where the Hawks had 15 second chance points. The Explorers need to minimize the Hawks' second chance buckets, and it all goes back to having Steve Zach using his size to grab the loose balls in the paint. The last time the Explorers and Hawks played was February 16th at the Palestra. Ramon Galloway led the Explorers with 16 points, 12 assists to a 76-64 win over the Hawks. The Hawks currently bring 4 veteran seniors to the floor next to 4 juniors. matchups will hold much significance in the Explorers' success in Saturday and how they can guard 6'6" forward Darius Querlis. Both teams enter healthy and well-rested over a week to prepare for the matchup. Above all else, Tom Gola Arena will be an electric atmosphere with a packed student section from both ends. If you can't make it out on Saturday, GoExplorers.com will have you covered with live game coverage. So make sure to tune in next week for full analysis, highlights, and interviews for this game. That does it for this week's edition of Marquee Matchup. I'm Gavin Lichtenstein, and I hope you have a great week on and off the court. Go Explorers!
The environment is my passion. Every day, I live for the outdoors and all of its challenges. That's why I enlisted in the Coast Guard. Now, I serve to protect the environment and defend my country. It's like I was born for this.
Were you born ready for a greater challenge? Find out at GoCoastGuard.com.
Thanks, Gavin. Be sure to keep up with this weekend's sporting events by following us on Twitter at SportsLine LTV. We post game updates and sneak peeks into the upcoming show.
Also, check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/LaSalleTV. We welcome you to send us your thoughts and suggestions about the show on either website.
For Jake and our entire SportsLine team, I'm Brendan Rigney, and we'll see you at the game.